Hey, what's up everybody? We got rained out today and I wanted to talk about like what's in my bag, what I use for my business, stuff like that. I know these are like super popular videos and YouTubers do them so that way you can kind of see everything they use, answer all the questions in like one thing instead of repetitively in the comment section over time. So nobody's asked me anything, but maybe they will, right? Whatever. Everything on this table does not always go in my bag. You don't need any of this stuff for making a vlog or anything like that. I just want to show you what I do over the past 3.5 years. When I started, I basically sold everything, and then like PS4 and like all the random stuff that you have laying around the house. I bought my first pro body and just one portrait lens, and I used that lens to death to make enough money to buy another lens and then like that's how it works. So before you go off with like the must be nice kind of thing, I don't have rich parents. I grinded, and that's how I got all this stuff. It's also super helpful if you have a second income, right? So I don't have to pay like an entire apartment's rent by myself or anything, so that's pretty cool. And but you know, this is kind of like how you get things. You get things and you make them pay for themselves. So real quick, let's just start off with the computer. I switched from iMac to PC. PC's just way faster, not even debatable. The specs, if you know anything about Premiere Pro, CUDA cores, all that other stuff, look into it if you really want to argue with me first. Widescreen monitor, so that way I can see more timeline, so I can edit faster. The faster the computer, the faster I can edit, the more projects I can get done, the more projects I can deliver to people. They get paid for it, and they're happier because they get them back faster. It's a win-win-win, and everything pays for itself, as long as you're using this for some type of income. And then some monitor speakers, not like super expensive or anything. We're not coming out with like the next Kenny Chesney CD or something, whatever people listen to now. Mechanical keyboard and mouse, all chosen by the wife. She likes to play some video games sometimes, so that's what she uses. And then I have a Wacom tablet over here. I'm super slow at it, so I don't really use it. If I got good at it, I'd be even faster. That's something that I definitely have to take up. The creepy mannequin, before anybody asks, that's just to practice lighting and stuff for photography. I put the cool mask on there because it was already creepy, so I just doubled its creepiness. The dog and the wife hate that thing. So let's go down the list of like everything in my bag. Let's just start off with the drone thing. I don't get to use it that much. I got to use it yesterday. If I go somewhere kind of cool, I'll take it. But we have the Mavic Air and its little pouch. It's cool because it kind of like, you can't even really tell it's in your camera bag. So super little, you don't even need this. Yesterday I flew it without this. I would definitely recommend using this. I just had the wrong cable on there for the phone that I had, so I wasn't able to use that. If you're gonna show clients and anything work, I recommend just bringing around an iPad. You can't do everything on an iPad, so that's kind of a bummer, but you can show them photos and video and stuff on there, and you don't have to carry around a giant computer. We're shooting this on an A7R3 thanks to my friend Carlos. He's letting me borrow it, test it out and stuff like that. My camera, A7 III, extra battery grip is on the R3. I use the Sony one. I use all brand name stuff because it has to be reliable if people are going to pay you to be there. So this is over here. We're using the Batis 18mm lens right now. I also use the Batis 85mm lens. And then I have some of these extension tubes, also of referral to the dude Carlos. And this kind of gives you some like macro shots and stuff like that. So really, I don't even need to carry around. This is just an easy way to carry like the lens and body cap. And then you could just carry around one of these things if you really wanted to save space. And it kind of doubles as a macro lens. And I don't have to spend $1,000 and carry a macro lens around forever. We got, keep your SD cards nice and safe in one of these things. Links for all this stuff will be down in the description if you really care, but you definitely want to make sure that you have a safe place for all of your data, especially if people are paying you to come home and keep all that information safe. Like, you don't want to have to tell them that you have to reshoot. External audio recorder, Zoom H6, has 4 inputs and stuff. You can do like a podcast anywhere with this if you really wanted to. It also has like a little bit of a external microphone, so you don't even have to plug anything into it if you don't want to. Batteries last a decent amount of time. Typical Joby tripod, everything that you've seen. I don't like that it has like a little bit of a wiggle to it. I don't know if that's just mine or if it's just everybody's. I feel like it should be like locked down, right, for as much as we pay for these things. And then, okay, sidetrack. With the drone, some little filters to make sure that you get your nice cinematic looking footage. Here's a bunch of the filters I use, ND filters. I went with a solid ND filter instead of a variable because it kept giving me like this cross-hatching stuff, and I ruined a bunch of footage, and this is a little bit more of a pain. But with the ISO capabilities of the cameras nowadays, I basically just find something that's like in the perfect range for this. And instead of me twisting it a little bit, I just let the ISO go from like 100 to, you know, whatever. And as long as the image is still clean, you know, a lot of times I just do this with no ND filter in my house, that's fine. And then when I go outside, I'll put on one. If it's super bright, then I'll stack on another one. But that way I don't have to mess with like the variable ND filter and worry about my footage not looking good. So I have these for both lenses, just for speed and efficiency, and they go in a little Tiffin pouch, which used to be a variable ND pouch, but I wasn't happy with that product. Okay. When it goes to like editing video and getting cool colors and stuff like that, I use data color products to color calibrate everything, so they give you like one of these sheets to make sure everything's right. There's a little thing that sits on my desk, and it measures like the ambient light in the room and make sure that my monitor is displaying the colors properly, and the brightness of my monitor is accurate to what is in the room, which means that all of my exposures will be correct. If it's like too bright in the room, then the monitor has to like brighten up, and then when you go to export your footage, everything's gonna be too bright. Same thing goes for too dark. So it's a little bit of an expensive product, but it's definitely worth it, especially if you're getting paid to do stuff and you want it to look correct. The box also includes like a lens calibrator, which you don't need for a mirrorless camera, but if you have like Canon or Nikon, this will calibrate all your lenses. Your lenses do need calibration. They're not perfect right off the bat, so you're gonna have to do that depending on what camera body you have. It's a pretty simple setup. There's YouTube videos out there to teach you how to do that, and then you just use this and the software included, and you can get all of your colors correct, right? Extra battery for the drone. This review is all over the place, right? Okay. So for the lighting stuff that I use here, I use the Aperture 120D like everybody else on YouTube. It's cool because you can just turn it on and off, and up and down, and you can do like multiple lights with this and stuff. I tried to use like the Pro Photo modeling light to do that, but there was like a little bit of a flicker problem. I'm not sure if that's just mine, but this is a lot cheaper, and I'm not putting wear and tear on my more expensive equipment. So as we talk about the more expensive stuff, Pro Photo B1X, this thing is amazing. I had a B1 a long time ago. It's portable. These batteries will last forever. I understand it's kind of expensive. I know there's cheaper alternatives out there made by like some other companies, whatever. But when you buy something like this, you're buying into a system, and I don't have to worry about like remotes and triggers and cables and battery packs and stuff like that. If this is charged, you clip it on here, this thing works. This is the 3-foot Octabox. I have the grid for it. Usually I use it here, but we just used this for a shot yesterday. So I have the Overkill, I don't know if you've seen that in the other vlog, but the Overkill 5-foot Octabox with the grid right here. Yes, all the Pro Photo stuff's kind of expensive, but once you get into the system, you don't really, like, I don't have to buy another one of these remotes, right? So, it's my phone, sorry guys. These things are super overpriced for what they are, but the range is like outstanding. You can go across the football field and still use this. I don't know why you would ever have to do that, but these things are pretty awesome. I got some rechargeable batteries because this thing does kind of eat batteries. And if I wanted to buy another pro photo item, like all I would have to do is buy the item, especially now that I already have the 5-foot modifier, the 3-foot modifier, and I have like the 2-foot beauty dish. I don't really use the beauty dish, but it was like super cheap, so it was nice to have that. Each one of these things takes a speed ring, so it's pretty easy to disassemble and reassemble. The 120D has a different mount, so it has a different mount adapter pro photo thing, so it still works the same exact way. It's just I can't easily remove this from the 120D and then put it on here. I have to swap those mounts out. And if you saw that part in the vlog, it's a super pain in the butt, but it's not really that bad compared to a lot of other products out there. So fun things I have are these little like twinkle lights for photo stuff. A little prism to do like kind of cool photo stuff. And then this thing is pretty cool, like any Sony users, the puppies here. They took the time-lapse feature away from us and all the other stuff that you've purchased in the Sony App Store. So we basically got robbed on that deal. But this little thing hooks up to an app on your phone and it lets you do a bunch of time-lapse and all kinds of cool stuff. It's the MyOps mobile dongle. They also have a remote trigger and all kinds of stuff that goes on there. And I'm gonna be reviewing this device, which is the MyOps Splash, and it's gonna help you with like water drop photography and stuff like that. So I'm just doing a video for them. This is actually put on like a microphone stand, but it ended up working out pretty good. And I think that's it. I don't really have anything else to cover. This thing, everybody has one of these. ProTactic 450 AW. It fits a camera body with a battery grip on it, so that's kind of cool. And now I have to cram everything back in there and put everything back away. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you tomorrow.